We're on.
So it's New Year's, and Yuko and Adonis have just escaped the asylum.
And they find a dog.
They and
And the dog walks up.
and
You just hate me because I'm creative.
do you mind? I love you too. Okay, so while that is happening, Raven and Beth have been sent on a mission by their Mysterium overlords to Chinatown to look into a magical anomaly that has recently been fading from the area. By recently, I mean over the last few decades. And so the two of you find yourself in a rental car driving through the deserted streets of the combat zone, what the mages refer to as Chinatown. You are to meet up with a couple of mystagogues of the Mysterium, and you will serve as their aides while they conduct an investigation into this anomaly that is fading from the area. Do you have any questions? Any additional information you may have asked for before heading out?
Where's the dog?
Baby, fucking hell, please.
Well, I guess since the combat zone is called the combat zone, and because apparently fighting goes on there, is there any conventions that we're supposed to follow that we wouldn't know because we're so new to the whole mage thing?
Yes, there is. Specifically, you learn about the laws of the secret society. And let me just flip through the book really quickly. Or the Lex Magica, as it is referred to. Now, there are many different laws, and different cities can have their own laws. But the gold laws, the unbreachable laws, are the precept of secrecy, also called the veil. And it is regarded as a serious offense to speak of magic to the unenlightened or to openly practice it in front of sleeper witnesses. The precept of protectorate prohibits cabals from trespassing in, spying on, attacking another cabal's sanctum. The precept of hubris frowns upon mages who use magic to manipulate or harm others without good reason. As a whole tends to be very individualistic and strong-willed individuals. They don't like following too many laws and orders. But as long as you don't practice magic in an offensive way, you should be all right.
Okay. So I found a character sheet of Beth that looks like June 17th. Might be is that what you guys have listed? I looked at a May one, and it was clearly at least one session out of date. So I have.
Say that again.
When was the last time we played, Marina?
I have no idea. It's been a few weeks.
It's July now, right? So the last one was probably in June. Yeah.
This is looking good. Protestus is the shadow name. Archer is Miss Riley's name. I should consider a shadow name. Mr. Riley is now Beth's mentor.
Indeed, speaking of shadow names, the two of you have been encouraged to think of a new name to use while practicing magic, also known as a shadow name. You've been told that it will protect you, although they haven't exactly told you how it will protect you. They haven't forced you to pick anything, but they have strongly encouraged you to pick something.
I feel like something ironic is probably what is what Beth will choose.
Okay. Well, the two of you have an address for the place where the two mystagogues are, and so after about a half-hour drive, you make it there in one piece. In this neighborhood, it's difficult to tell whether those are fireworks or gunshots down the street. But you're pretty sure this is the right place as you pull up out front of an apartment building or an apartment complex.
So do you think we're just glorified taxi drivers? Or do you think there'll be something else, something interesting to pay attention to? And did you want to drive, Raven? Or did you want me to drive? Well, I'd be happy to drive.
What names of people that we're meeting or just the address?
That's a good question. Did they give us names?
I know, they have not given you names.
So we're meeting somebody here.
Oh, I thought you meant shadow names. Okay. You are meeting two mages by the name of Prometheus and Epimetheus.
What? What the
Prometheus and Epimetheus. And Marie, you're very quiet. I can barely hear you.
That's because Ben is trying to be as far away from me as possible.
These are two senior members of your Mysterium organization.
Okay.
What's parking like in this area?
Like half the cars on the street seem like they may have been like abandoned. But it's still like the streets are really narrow in Chinatown and really crowded. But you are able to find a parking space.
Is it a house or is it like an office building or?
It's an apartment complex, and you have the room number.
Okay. So we just go up there.
So you, it's on the second floor of the apartment complex on the outside, and you walk up the stairs and knock on the door, and after a few moments, a clean-shaven older man opens the door. Hello?
Hello there. I understand you need some aid.
Yes, yes. Come in, quickly. He opens the door.
I will gladly go in without even looking to see what else is going on there.
I'll follow.
So inside is it's a small, fairly neat apartment complex. Very sparse. It's clear they haven't been here that long. The clean-shaven man who closes the door and follows you into the living room identifies himself as Prometheus, and he motions to a rather haggard-looking, grizzled older man with a big bushy beard as, God damn it,
Epimetheus?
Epimetheus, yes. The Epimetheus kind of glances up and kind of grunts at you. Prometheus turns, he smiles. So you are Beth and Raven, I believe?
Yes. I am Beth. And she is right.
Excellent, excellent. Well, we're glad to have you on board. I was very happy that Potestus was able to send some help.
We're
You know,
glad
me
to
and
be helpful.
Epimetheus are getting up there in years. We could use some spry young women to assist us on this venture.
Well, we're parked just down the street. I look by the looks of it. I mean, we probably want to go in pretty fast. I just assume that we'll be picked apart by adventurous gang members or something.
Well, I would hope
pick
not.
Team, if you will, of valuables.
We should be fine as long as we don't draw too much attention to ourselves. And you do, of course, have your art, your craft to fall back on. But I understand the area is quite dangerous. He goes over to the couch where there's a couple of bags, and he opens the bag and he pulls out some Kevlar vests.
Cool.
Hopefully these will help you feel more at ease. He gives one to you and he gives one to Raven.
This is
And
what I'm
they,
talking about.
they're small enough to fit underneath your clothes without drawing too much attention.
And we're supposed to just take off our shirts right here and put it on.
Oh, no, there is a bathroom off to your down the hall and first door on the left.
Thank you. I'll go put mine on.
It fits perfectly. And it's a Kevlar vest. It provides 1 armor against general damage and 3 armor against ballistic damage. While Raven is changing, Prometheus turns to Beth. How much have you been briefed on the situation here?
Just very vague about the nature of the unusual the unusual aura around this place that's been getting weaker, and apparently it's not what is it, resist the the chaos or the
Paradox.
paradox.
You see, when this world it hates truth, it picks it apart. Or rather, the abyss that separates us from the supernal picks it apart. Every sleeper soul contains within it a sliver of the abyss. And when a sleeper sees magic, this abyssal sliver flares. It causes them to forget what they've seen, to rationalize it away, but it also causes the world itself to lash back at the one who is casting. We do not have this problem here in the combat zone. Sleepers forget, but we have no paradox, no spells going awry, tearing open gateways to the abyss. a very useful place to train, to get a hold of one's craft in the formative years. And it's no doubt why Potestus sent you two in particular.
Well, we might as be where we're the most useful.
Indeed. Other groups have come before, tried to figure out why this effect seems to be slipping from the area. None have been successful. But I think it's important that we routinely reapproach this situation and try and continually find new solutions to dealing with it rather than just forgetting it entirely.
Are you like marking the edge? Are you able to use your sight to see kind of where the zone ends at any particular time?
Unfortunately, the only way we've been able to determine that paradox does not happen here is trial and error. There have been some very messy incidents in which mages thought they were casting within the safety of the combat zone, and they were in fact not.
I see.
Needless to say, this is a problem that affects our entire community. Now, me and my colleague have been discussing, and we think the best way to approach this situation is to get a general layout of the spiritual health of the region. We can do this by examining the different loci and hollows found within the combat zone. Raven,
I know
at this
about
time,
hollows are. Now, what's the? Did you say
At this-
foci?
say that again.
I said I know what the hollows are, but what else did you say? There were.
Oh, yes, forgive me. Loci, they are gateways to the spirit world, to the shadow. You see, there is another world that a reflection of this, where the spirits dwell. Everything in our world has a spiritual reflection, except for mankind, interestingly enough.
Now, is the spiritual realm something where ghosts can go?
No, not typically. I have heard of some instances of that happening, but usually the animistic spirits that inhabit the shadow tear apart any foreigners quite quickly.
All right. Well, I'll try not to suggest any ghosts to visit then.
Can you remind me what hollows are?
Ah, yes, of course. Hollows are essentially fountains of mana. You see, the supernal, it's separated from our world, but it leaks down in pools in certain places. These areas are known as hollows.
Is the bathroom open for me to change now?
Yeah.
Be right back.
Ah, you, if I remember correctly, you are a Fursus, so you should know all about the shadow. Am I right?
Not so much. I don't know. Do I?
You've never been there. You've read a little bit about it, but you've never been there.
Hey, I've never been there.
Epimetheus stands up at this point. A Fursus that has never set foot in the shadow? Well, this will not do.
It's important that I visit this place?
Indeed, it is. It is part of your heritage, your birthright as a Thyrsus.
Are you also a Thyrsus?
Yes, I think I was pronouncing it incorrectly last time. I was pronouncing it Thyrus.
Yeah, I believe it's Thyrsus, but I might
Yeah.
be wrong.
Theris. Theris.
It's not particularly important, really,
Theris.
as long as we know what you're talking about.
Well, Prometheus turns and looks at Epimetheus. Well, I suggest we spread out to cover as much ground as possible. You could take Raven to the Loci, and I could go with Beth to the Hollows. Cover ground, get this done in one night.
That's good. We can do more damage that way.
How many loci and hollows are in the area?
As far as we can tell, and occasionally new ones do crop up, but as far as we can tell, there are 6 loci and 4 hollows scattered about.
And how big of an area is affected by this anomaly?
That is a good question. 1 second. Well, initially it was the entire Chinatown area. Since then, it has shrunk, and the exact size is unknown.
Okay.
Do we know for sure that it's changed in size and not just changed, like moved as one big area?
Yes. Yes, we are. It consistently seems to be shrinking at a rate of about a block a year.
I'm gonna look at my phone, and now that it's been 3 months, I've had an opportunity to replace the one that I managed to leave in the snow, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna look up these Greek names so that I know why these people may have chosen their names. When I find out that Prometheus gave fire to the humans, I'm going to be very perplexed. Like, you, great. This thing I'm afraid of, fire, is what your namesake brought. Well, I look forward to seeing more of that. But we only got one car, so are we? Do we need to drive you guys somewhere? Or
Prometheus,
you guys need to drive us somewhere?
I have my own car,
Oh,
so
okay.
there should be enough cars for our 2 groups.
So how big is Chinatown? So I'm trying to get an image of what we're.
Um,
I mean, are we talking about blocks wide or miles wide?
it. Hmm. You know, I am not sure what the size of Chinatown is. 1 second.
Why not just give like a ballpark figure, and then we can find out the exact one later?
I mean, it's probably.
Thank you, Jacob.
How long we think it's going to take, probably.
492 acres, according to Jacob.
Holy shit.
Population 47,844.
400 acres?
That's just Chinatown?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I 492 acres means nothing to me, but that's a pretty large population.
It's a very old, very large city district.
You know, out of character. You're talking to, little girl who that's
Do you know how Raven and Epimetheus going off in their busted, broken down Volkswagen Beetle that doesn't at all stand out in Chinatown. And Prometheus and Beth going in the rental car. And Beth, roll evens or odds.
I'm going to go with odd. Do you want me to roll?
Yes, a d6, please.
A d6?
Yeah.
I don't have any of those.
Oh,
I do have.
unless you don't have any at hand,
I do.
in which case roll a d10.
I rolled even.
Oh, you got an even?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll go with Raven and Epimetheus first. So the first place you arrive is it's another apartment complex, but it's clearly been like caught fire at some point and then just was like abandoned. Like half of it is like blackened and collapsing in on itself. Epimetheus pulls into the abandoned parking lot and begins to get out without a word.
Okay, I will get out too. Be like, this looks like a cheery spot.
There's like gang signs like spray painted on everything, and like as you're like walking across the sidewalks, there's like needles just like abandoned in the streets.
Nice.
He pushes open the front door of the apartment complex. It's hanging on its hinges. He walks in. I assume you follow him in.
Yeah. Is there anybody in there?
No, it seems completely abandoned.
just more of the same, I would assume.
Mm-hmm. There are bullet casings like scattered across the terribly stained carpet of the room you
Right.
enter. The walls are blackened with soot. There's multiple bullet holes in the furniture and the walls and stuff like that.
What time of day is this? What time of day are we at?
It's about 1 a.m.
Oh, okay, so it's like the middle of the night.
Yeah.
So, okay.
On
Do
New
we have
Year's.
flashlights? I'm assuming we have flashlights.
Actually, it would probably be a bit later than that. Like probably like 3 a.m. Like it's New
Okay.
Year's, but things have started to kind of calm down.
So I assume that it's pretty dark in there, so we have flashlights or something?
Yes.
Okay.
Despite being a haggard old man, Epimetheus apparently has a smartphone, and so he flicks on the flashlight on that.
What are we looking for?
Already found it. He walks over to the blackened wall, kind of lays a hand against it. You know, we're not going to go far, you understand? The shadow is a dangerous place.
Okay. You want to tell me what we're going to see when we get there?
That would ruin the surprise.
Seems like, dangerous and surprise are not the best friends.
He lays a hand on your shoulder and closes his eyes. You feel like this rippling sensation kind of run through your flesh. Your heart palpitates in your chest, and then this like cool euphoria almost kind of rushes through you. And we're here in the shadow. You look around, nothing seems to have changed.
How can you tell?
He smirks and he kind of nods. Look outside.
Do I have to go back outside, or is there a window, or?
There's no window, but there is a door that you
Okay.
walked through.
Okay, so I'll go back out.
And as you walk outside, the first thing you notice is that like the sky is like pitch black. This just swirling black clouds just like blanket the sky. And the second thing you notice is the abandoned street is now populated with numerous figures. Haggard, wretched looking creatures, almost entirely made from like these almost like white crystals, needles bursting forth from their fingers, kind of pace up and down the streets, weeping blood. You look up at the building across the street, you see lights like flashing from the utmost window. And when you look up at these lights, you realize that the building itself is rippling, it's moving. The lights, the window almost seeming to be eyes for the building, the lights flicking on and off as it blinks. The street lights around you sway in a non-existent breeze.
What the fuck?
From an alleyway to your right, one of those crystalline figures suddenly emerges. It looks at you and its head like splits vertically, revealing a mouth filled with needles. And a voice kind of calls out to you. Hey, pretty lady. Looking for a good time?
I will look. Is Epimetheus like right behind me or beside me or whatever?
Yeah, he's actually back in the room, just kind of like seemingly waiting for you with his arms crossed, an eyebrow raised. He seems to be gauging your reaction.
I'll just go. Um, I'll say, thanks, no, and go back in the room and close the door.
Um, you hear the creature like kind of gasp as you turn its back on it. You enter our world without paying the tithe? How dare you! You hear it begin shambling after you.
Do I get the door closed?
The door is hanging off its hinges.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I guess I'll just look at Epimetheus and be like, so now what?
He just kind of like smirks as the creature like pushes its way into the building. Please, just a little prick. I just need a little prick. Just enough to feed. It won't hurt. You'll enjoy it. I promise.
Look at his face. Does he look like he'd lie to you?
What appears to be like tar heroin is like leaking down out of its mouth like saliva.
Um,
It starts to extend a needled hand out to you. Please, please, just a little. I can help you.
I will take out my gun and shoot it.
Okay, roll dexterity firearms.
Jesus.
And it has a defense of 3, so -3.
Um, I can spend a point of willpower,
You definitely can spend a point of willpower.
and I don't. Is it how? And that does that give me 1?
Plus 3.
Plus
And it's
3.
at close range, so you're going to gain another +2.
Oh. So 3 plus 2. Um, 2 successes.
Okay, yeah, your bullet blows right through it, and like half of its form like crumbles, like one of its arms just like crumbles off to the ground. It screams in pain and stumbles back and immediately spins around and sprints out of the room. Screaming, "Where are the Urafa? Where are the dogs when you need them? Trespassers! Trespassers!" and it skitters off down the alley. Epimetheus kind of nods. Caution does you credit.
What?
Everything in the world has a spiritual reflection, and every single one of those spirits is amoral, utterly without the concept of empathy, and all of them are utterly hungry. They can be useful. You can control their hunger. You must never trust them. Ever.
Yeah, he didn't look like the kind of guy I would trust.
Many spirits bear more benevolent shapes, but ultimately they are all the same.
Okay. So what is it that we need to get done here?
Well, the main reason I brought you here was simply to show you this. Have you experienced this and to examine the other side. Again, we will not go too far. The Chinatown shadow is quite dangerous. But as best I can tell, there is nothing unusual here. Shall we proceed to the next loci?
Okay, sure.
He extends a grubby, dirty hand to you.
Like he wants me to hold his hand.
Yeah.
Okay. Not.
You feel another surge of energy, and then you are back in the world. Although you couldn't really tell until you looked outside and see everything just as it was. And without a further comment, Epimetheus heads back to his car, and the two of you drive off.
Okay.
And I think we'll jump over to Mitchell and Adonis now.
Cool.
All right. So, what's going on exactly?
The two of you are speeding down the highway. You take the exit and pull into the parking lot of your old apartment building.
I look to my new friend and I say, so, the person that I'm about to ask this favor from, they're kind of, you'll probably see. Just, be careful what you say, alright?
Yeah, as long as you get me out of this thing soon.
And at this point, I look down at myself and I realize I'm probably still in a fucking straitjacket, aren't I?
Yes, you are, actually.
If anybody asks anything, we're doing, like, a prank or something, or some other shit, okay? Alright?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did we manage to get any of our equipment back, or no? I assume no.
No.
By equipment, what do you mean?
Like our regular clothes that we were brought in there with.
No.
No, you didn't.
Well,
Okay. At this point you would notice that I'm physically sweating a little bit and I look nervous, clutching on to the oh shit handle and like holding my seatbelt as I'm looking around the windows and everything.
well, that was a pretty intense experience we had, wasn't it, huh?
Yeah, it was. But it's nothing really. I mean, it was, but I have a fear of vehicles. I don't like driving them. I refuse to drive them. This is okay for me because I'm not behind a steering wheel, but could we slow down just a little bit?
Well, we're already parked.
I'm sorry, my head. I feel like I'm spinning. He's gonna fumble with the door handle and open it up and put his feet on the ground and just like hold his face to his hands for a couple seconds before standing up.
All right, and I stand. I'm gonna try to hide my scalpel. You know, I don't want Margaret coming to think that like coming to like stab her or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And this is probably really fucked up. I'm gonna make my way to the door, her door, at 2 a.m. in the morning on New Year's.
You're about to knock when the door suddenly swings open and she's standing there scowling at you. Wow, wow, wow. Look what the cat dragged in.
You seem not surprised that I'm here.
Ugh, you triggered my wards. Woke me up, god damn you. What is it, Yuko? She looks down at your attire and kind of smirks.
What is it?
You really did it. You broke out of a mental asylum.
How did you know I was there to begin with? Was it this?
Say that again.
Never mind. I just realized what she said. Yeah, I broke out of an asylum. I guess you could say that.
Come in. No one saw you, right?
No. Do you care if my friend comes in? He's all right.
Oh, he's all right, is he? As all right as your other friends,
About this time, I'd stand out of the car and make my way towards where I saw Yunko walk to.
Yuko.
Yuko. Sorry.
It's okay.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
you see an old lady, stark white hair, and a
Hello? Fuck. Sorry about that.
it's cool. Can you say something 1 second? You seemed like really quiet there.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
So you get into Margaret's office, and her office is just like a mess. There's like just papers just all over her desk, like fast food that's been like half eaten and forgotten about. There's a lamp on the desk which seems really familiar to you, Yuko, for some reason.
Can I try to recall where I've seen it from?
Yeah. What's intelligence?
Perfect. That's 4, 5, 6. 6 die. 1 second. Give me 1 second. I'm just checking something. Okay. Alright. Okay. 6 die. 6. I got 1 success.
You've definitely seen that lamp somewhere before, but you just can't recall.
I just kind of stare at it for a second in puzzlement.
Well, I assume there's a reason you're here.
Yeah. I'm here about my favor.
Mm-hmm. Just so you know, I have no idea what happened to your stuff, okay? Your friends came and they cleared out the apartment. Alright? I don't know what they did with your shit.
Yeah, I kind of expected that. That's alright.
Right, so your favor.
Yeah. You promised to tell me about, you know, these people and everything. If I got out of your apartment.
They call themselves the Wise. Nothing wise about them.
Why do you say
Last fucking fools, every single one of them. Arrogant, power-hungry fools. And Yuko, if you don't... I don't know why I'm wasting my breath, but you need to get out while you still can.
Why do you feel this way towards them?
Yuko, this magic, this awakening that you've stumbled upon, it's not a gift. It's so easy to believe that. But it's not a gift. The curse. And it will take everyone you care about.
Well, as far as I see it, I've already lost everyone. I'm talking, here. Yeah. Go ahead. Well, actually, I was kind of using it to prop the door open. Fuck. 1 second.
So you need to?
Just go. It's fine. It's fine. Take it. It's broken, though. Okay. Yeah, I look at her with this sort of, like... I don't know, it's like... almost a look of just disbelief. Thank you. I'm sorry about all the noise, guys. With this almost like look of like disbelief on her face as she shakes her head and she chuckles. Well, I've got nothing left to lose.
1 second.
Everything okay?
I'm fine. How are you?
Micah?
Probably the background noise.
Hmm.
Let's give them some time.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm back. What was the last thing I was saying?
You weren't saying anything. I had just finished replying to her. I said that basically I have nothing left to lose, and I seemed kind of like just in disbelief about that. Like she has this like smile on her face, but at the same time you can tell that it's not like a genuine smile. It's more like a pained sort of smile. That makes sense?
Yeah. Margaret stares at you long and hard for a moment. All right, then. Ask your questions.
Who are they? Really? You say they're the wise. Is that all there is to it?
Well, they call themselves the Griffins, the Order of Exalted Griffins. I'm sure you've put that together.
No, Not really. Um, I've been stuck in a fucking asylum for the past 3 months, losing my shit. So, I'm kind of out of it, if you can't tell.
Did you awaken?
I think so. Yeah. I saw a lot of things. And at this point, you can tell she's getting like really like uncomfortable. She covers her eyes with her hand.
Margaret leans forward, her gaze invasive, intense. Show me.
Show you.
Show me something.
What do you mean?
She extends her hand out towards you, and electricity crackles between her fingertips.
How do I do it?
You just can. It'll come to you.
Okay. I'll try. So, can I, I'm trying to think of what to do here. What's in the room around me?
It's a very small, very cluttered office. So just a lot of just like paperwork, office wear, supply stuff, half-eaten food, lamps, a few paintings.
Is there something that's, like, nearly, like, on the edge of something, like it could fall?
Yeah, there's a stapler hanging like half off the desk.
Can I use space magic to compel it to fall?
Yeah, you could like stretch or shrink the space and kind of like cause it to like, yeah, definitely.
Alright, what do I need to do?
Gnosis plus Arcanum.
Alright, so that's 2 die. And I'll use a point of willpower as well. So that brings me up to 5. Total. I got 1 success.
1 second. Right, sorry, I'm back. I completely lost my train of thought. I do apologize. What was I saying?
Okay. Basically, I just made my roll to see if the spell was successful, and I got a 6, or not 6, I got 1 success.
Okay, it works. Your nimbus flares as you cast the spell, and the stapler tumbles off. What does your nimbus look like again?
Oh, fuck. So it's like this sort of like black, like the blackness from before that, that Raven could see around her, right? But there's something else to it as well. If Margaret could perceive of this aura from before, then she would notice that it's different in that it also has this sort of like silver sort of lining around it, right? Very subtly, right? And I would imagine she'd also be kind of fucking disturbed about that. You know, the just, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So, yeah, can Caleb see this as well?
Yes, he can.
Okay. So yeah, you notice just this very, sort of like, well, yeah, I'm not sure what sort of like mental effect on it, but that's what you see. It's like a black aura with a silver lining around her body.
Yeah, it shines, I guess, for a moment, and then the spell is cast and it disappears just as quickly. The stapler topples to the ground. Margaret sits back in her chair, kind of nods.
There you go.
There's something off about you,
Yeah, well, I
isn't
get that.
there?
Yeah, I get that a lot. You know?
She starts like squinting at you,
What is
leaning closer and closer towards you.
it? I just sit there and let her do this? I'm just staring at her, I guess. Kind of weirded out by it.
There's a sickness in you, isn't there?
S-
Corruption.
What are you talking about?
You were touched by something, weren't you? Something otherworldly.
Yeah. Yeah, I was. Not that I wanted to be, it just sort of happened that way.
Huh, it's none of my business. She shakes it off, and for a moment you think you see her shiver.
Do you know something about it?
Not enough to make any comment.
Can I tell if she's lying? Can I use something to tell about that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I do have the repentant, or not repentant, I have the guilty condition, so I take a penalty to this sort of stuff. So what do I need to roll?
Empathy, wits, I would say.
Alright, so I'm going to take a -2. And I have nothing in empathy still, so I'm actually at a -3. So I'm going to use a point of willpower to go back up to neutral.
Okay.
Alright, so that brings me to 4 die. And that's my last point of willpower, too. Feels bad. Alright, I got 3 successes.
3 successes. Okay. Holy shit. She's being pretty truthful with you. She might have some like passing knowledge of something relevant, but she doesn't feel comfortable enough or confident enough in it to share it.
Wow. Imagine that. I say that out loud. Imagine that. And I shake my head for a moment as I just chuckle with my eyes closed. Of all the people to tell me the truth, it's you. That's hilarious.
I've been square in all of our dealings, Yuko. You and your friends are the ones who skipped out on paying me my dues.
I see. Well, if I can repay you, then I will. But it's going to take some time.
You can repay me by never letting me see your face again after we're done here. That would be great.
Why do you dislike me so much?
Gee, you almost burnt down the apartments, you and your friends. You drew something here.
You drew something. What do you mean, that fire thing?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean.
That wasn't us. I don't know how I can prove that to you. But that wasn't us. That thing came on its own.
So you say.
It's the truth.
Regardless, did you have anything else you wanted to ask me?
So you don't think I should trust them?
No, of course not. Definitely not.
I
Every
have,
single one of them is power mad, corrupt on their own power.
I have some reason to believe what you're saying. You haven't been entirely truthful with me, after all.
And that goes for you too, kid. Don't trust a single one of them. Not a damn one! That was aimed at Adonis.
I'm sorry. That's all he's going to say. Is well, I don't think I'll be coming back here myself ever, so you don't have to worry about that.
Quick question, Mike. I have a question. I know I just said that. And I know I should know this from before when Beth awakened. Do we just have like an intuitive grasp of what we can do?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a bit more complicated than that, but essentially, yes.
I
It takes
s-
effort and concentration, and it's difficult. But you know you can do it. You can feel the connection there. And all you have to do is pull on that connection and visualize what you want to happen.
All right. So you don't think I should trust them? They're called the Griffins. What else do I need to know?
Well, first off, Boston is ruled by the Ebon Noose and the White Putnams.
Who the
You need to
hell?
watch out for these groups. You need to stay under their radar because they are ruthless.
In what way?
One's a group of power mad pagans, and the other are a bunch of religious zealots, extremist Christians.
Yeah, they don't exactly sound like the nicest of people, I guess. Thanks for letting me know.
Mm-hmm.
Is there
And
anything?
another thing you need to know is about their concord. You see, the Ebon Noose and the Putnams, they've ruled Boston since the 80s, all thanks to this secret agreement that they made back in the early 19th century.
Well, it must not be too secret if you know about it.
We know about it. They've told us, but the exact details of this agreement have been kept hidden.
I see.
It's said, though, that this agreement between these two cabals and a mysterious third party has changed fate itself so that they may rule Boston for eternity.
Rule at Boston for eternity, huh? That sounds pretty
Indeed.
ridiculous considering Boston probably isn't going to exist forever.
Well, at least as long as the city stands, or at least as long as the concilii stand.
I see. Well, before I ask my final question that I have, is there anything that you feel necessary to tell me? Anything else? Any advice? I mean, I'm willing to hear just about anything right now.
Um, just stay undercover. Just avoid attracting the attention of the higher ups. You don't want to be drawn into their games. They'll use you and they'll discard you.
It's a little late for that.
And speaking about the Ebon Noose and the Putnams, the Nemean in particular.
Nemean? What, you mean like the lion?
Indeed. He is essentially our leader, our self-proclaimed ruler.
What about him?
He's utterly ruthless and very adept in the craft. Very cunning.
I see.
The epitome of all that is wrong in a mage.
What's right then?
That's right. I'm still trying to figure that out for myself.
You don't have any opinion?
I don't think there is anything right about this. This magic, this craft, the things it does to people, the way it affects our mind. The wise have such delusions of power. But we're really, really nothing compared to what's out there.
What's
And yet
out
we
there?
think we somehow have the authority, the ability to start poking giants.
What's out there exactly?
And are those metaphorical or theoretical giants?
Both. And there are countless things out there, Yuko. There are countless. I don't even have a name for half the shit I've seen.
I see. Well, my last favor to ask of you is, do you have a phone that I could use? Maybe... Never mind, just the phone. Do you have a phone I could use?
Could
What
I
were
get
you
a
gonna
glass
say?
of water?
She kind of digs around her desk for a moment and then hands you a bottle of whiskey. There. Now, Yuko, finish what you were gonna say. I insist.
You got a phone?
You were going to add something else.
Well, I was gonna ask for a change of clothes, but to be honest, I don't really want to owe you anything else.
Let me ask you this. What are you gonna do now?
I can't leave Boston. Unfortunately, the only thing that's keeping me alive is this place. And
I see.
I'm at the mercy of the people that you're telling me to stay away from. It seems. So, I'm gonna do what I have to do.
I think I have some clothes that are your size.
You sure?
Yeah, some clients left them. I was gonna auction them off, but hey, why don't you take them? She gets up and opens up a drawer off to the side, and she pulls out some blue jeans and a teal sweater.
I take it.
I'd hate to be a bother. I know I'm kind of a giant, but do you have any clothes that may fit me, like an old cloak or something?
Do you actually have the giant merit?
I think that's... No, I did not.
Okay. In that case, she actually does have something that will fit you.
Okay.
She has some blue jeans and a camo shirt.
Hey, pretty good. He's gonna sneak off and... Not sneak off, but find a place to change without...
There's a restroom down the hall.
Yeah.
I change as well. And then I come back and I say, so,
She's waiting for you outside the restroom. Well, did you have any more questions, or was that it? She has a book tucked under her arm.
Do you have a phone I could use? That's my last question.
Yeah, you can use the office phone.
Thanks. I owe you.
She suddenly like perks up.
I don't owe you anything. Making that clear.
Shut up, shut up.
I noticed this change in behavior. What's wrong?
Your friends are here.
My friends. What do you mean
The
by that?
Griffins.
Where?
Outside. Watch yourself, Yuko.
Oh, I'm gonna
They,
go.
they serve they serve the Mysterium, but they also serve the Nemean. They're his killing dogs.
Well, if they're here, well, they're not here for you, and they're not here for him. So, I guess they're here for me. And they're just the people I wanted to see. Thanks for
Well,
everything.
wait, one last thing. Before you go, and fuck out of my life forever, you ought to take this. It was my first grimoire. I don't need it anymore. I've memorized most of the spells, but you might find some use for it. She hands you a tattered old diary.
I take it, and I look inside.
Inside are just like squiggles and like scripts of dialogue in some kind of foreign language, graphs and diagrams, seemingly scientific formulas that make no sense to you.
Thank you.
You'll get used to it. Your eyes will adjust. Good luck, kid. You're gonna need it.
Just as notes, pocketing the bottle of whiskey she gave me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking, like, ripping off like 1 inch by 3 inch scraps of my old clothes, and I'm gonna store those on me as well.
Okay. Of the
The gown from the mental asylum.
okay, cool.
So I wait for him to get out of the bathroom, and I say to Adonis. Well, I don't know his actual name. What is, in fact, I ask him, "What's your name?"
My name?
Don't tell him, you idiot.
What do you mean?
Keep your names to yourselves. Safer that way.
Why?
We use shadow names for a reason. People can use your name to track you.
How is a shadow name?
I don't use one anymore. I'm out of the business. But
Well,
Adonis isn't your real name. What, did that come to you in a dream?
my wife called me Adonis. Before I was admitted to the mental asylum. She's been dead for a couple months now.
Well, keep your real name to yourself,
Right.
lest others use it against you.
Noted. You can stay here, Adonis, or you can come out with me.
I'm sorry, ma'am. I didn't catch your name. I got Yuko. And yours was?
Doesn't matter.
Okay, do you have any
I plan
weapons?
on never seeing you two again.
Do you have
Get
any
out of here.
weapons? Fine. I'll follow you, Yuko.
Alright, I have no idea how they're about to react to us. So, just stay calm. Alright?
Slowly, in my pocket, I'm going to prepare the bottle of whiskey and the rags. I'm just gonna have them prepared.
Okay.
So I go over to the door. Now let's just face it already.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
It started to rain outside.
and I can hear the rain, and I go to like place my hand on the doorknob, but I noticeably like hesitate. Right? And Adonis, you notice that she seems like very, like, uncomfortable, right? Like you can see her hand sort of just like shaking. I've been through worse, right? This is nothing. I place my hand on the door and I turn it and I open it and step outside.
Miss Riley and two other griffins, a woman with stark red hair and a Japanese man with a shaved head, are standing out there in the parking lot. Miss Riley has a Uzi cradled in her arms. The woman is holding a spear, and the man is unarmed.
Hello.
As the two of you, because I assume Adonis follows you out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you step out, Margaret closes the door behind you, and you hear it like audibly lock.
I look to Miss Riley and I trace up her body, you know, like from the gun to her face. What's the expression she's wearing?
She's staring you down, as if searching for something, trying to discern something.
Fancy seeing you again.
Indeed. Her eyes turn to Adonis. Put your hands up.
Hmm.
Is that both of us?
Yuko, step away from him. You put your fucking hands up. I'm not fucking around here.
Well, I don't want to die, so I do as she says. I step away.
I'm going to slowly raise my hands up, leaving whatever items I had in my pockets in them. What? Don't trust me? I'm going to...
Who are you with?
Yuko. I saved her life in the mental asylum. And as a result, I got drug all the way out here with her.
She turns to Yuko.
It's the
Is
truth.
this true?
Yeah. It's true.
They relax a bit. Are there any other Skelessi here?
Sklesty.
Yes.
There's no Sklesty here.
What happened in that fucking hospital, Yuko?
Well, a lot of things happened. I got my head shaved, you know, got a haircut. Had some horrible fucking nightmares. You know, I completely forgot who I was. But that's not what you're looking for. You don't give a fuck about that, though. No. That's not what you're looking for.
What does that mean?
You wanted to know what happened, right? Why I'm here. Isn't that what you want?
Multiple contacts of ours are fucking dead. Cleaved right in half.
Yeah,
And you were fucking gone, so we came looking for you.
we were attacked. Well, I guess I should say
We thought you had been taken.
I was attacked. He just got caught up in all of this. My brother and my father. And you notice, like she like begins to like tear up as she's saying this. They came to the hospital, and my brother was wrong.
Jesus.
His face was like melting off of him. And
I I saw.
And everything that I thought I knew was fake. And I look up at her, and I say to her, why didn't you tell me the truth? You told me that it was some people. You never told me that it was my parents.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Why did you let me lie to myself? You know, everything that I've done was for them. And it was all for nothing. I killed people for people that don't deserve it.
Your guilt is your own, Yuko. Don't drag me into this. I was just following orders. You understand that, don't you? Potestas thought it would be best to keep you in the dark. You'd have a chance at a normal life. Then you started to show signs of awakening, and we had to draw you in quick.
Chance. Do you really believe that?
You're the one who kept digging. You wanted to know.
I wanted to get everything that I lost back. That's what I wanted. Now I know I'm never gonna get that.
Grow up. You think this world cares what we want? Please.
I care.
But that's like one of the random NPCs in the background.
I'm gonna
You fucking heard it, babe.
I'm gonna slowly put my hands down.
Take care of it.
Just oh, everything's good.
The man kind of grudgingly nods.
So,
No sudden movements.
so, now that you know what you want, what happens now? Or did you have more questions? I mean, I guess I would be glad to tell you the truth.
Did you awaken? You said you saw many things.
Yeah, I did.
Now you're stronger for it.
I'm definitely different. That much is true.
In answer to your question, what happens now depends a lot on you. What do you intend to do now?
I want justice. For me and my brother.
Your parents are formidable foes. Yuko.
Yeah, I saw how they killed you. You know, not you, of course, your teammates.
Yeah,
It's fucked up.
yeah, they did.
Do you hate me for it?
Farum does,
Who's that?
our leader.
But I had nothing to do with it.
I know. You're a victim in all this, just like everyone else.
Were we ever really friends? Or was that just you following orders?
My duty to the Concilium, to my order, to my cabal, comes before all other things, Yuko.
But that's not what I'm asking you. You can follow your duty and be my friend. All I want to know is the truth. If you fucking hate me, just say it.
I don't hate you, Yuko. Fucking hell.
I think I prefer Yuko actually. she saved my life and got me out of there sooner than what I was expecting to.
Okay. Acquaintances, then I think that's where we'll stand at.
Very well. Acquaintances.
So, where to?
Well, as far as we're concerned, you're free to go. Believe it or not, Yuko, we came here to look out for you. We thought they had taken you. You understand that?
How did you find me? How did you know I would be here?
She reaches into her waistband and she pulls out your old judge.
My pistol.
Found this in the park. You've killed people with this.
Yeah,
Multiple people.
and a dog.
You have strong connection.
Connection. What kind of connection? Hey, I'm kind of busy, man. What were you saying?
A sympathetic connection where we were able to trace you using it.
I see. Can I have my pistol back? It's kind of important to me.
Make a persuade presence roll.
Okay. Well, I'm pretty shit at both of those things. I have two in persuasion and one in presence, so I have 3 die. Not my strong suit. I got 3 successes. No, wait. No, that's right. 3 successes.
Okay. She stares at you for a moment, kind of chewing her lip, having some sort of internal debate, and then she nods and tosses it to you.
I snatched it out of the air. Is it in good condition?
It is.
Thanks.
I mention.
I stuff it into my waistline. You know, I don't have a holster for it currently. All right. Well, I don't really have anywhere to go. So, can I go to your place?
No. But we do have somewhere we could send you.
Where's the-
There's always my cabin we could go to.
Nah.
No?
No. Sorry, I don't trust you like that just yet.
No, that's okay. I just want to get home and see my cat soon. I hope he's okay.
So,
Yeah, good luck with that.
Where to then?
Your friends, Raven and Beth, they've been put on an assignment in Chinatown. They'd probably appreciate seeing you again.
All right.
I could give you the address they were sent to. Maybe you could help them with their assignment. You know how Aram and Potestus are always going on about paying their debts.
Aram and Protestus. I'm not sure who you're talking about.
Yes, the leaders of our cabal.
Okay. Where's the address?
She gives it to you. She rambles it off.
All right. I don't have anything to write it down on, so I'll just try to commit it to memory. All right.
I got the address.
Okay. Don't suppose we could get a ride there?
We still have the car.
No,
that
you
we-
wouldn't give me the address if you were going to take me, right?
Nah, fuck that. It's Chinatown.
Is there something I should know about Chinatown?
You actually do know that it's like this crime-infested hellhole. That's just common knowledge if you live in Boston.
Why Chinatown? What's so special about that place?
Paradox doesn't function there. We call it the combat zone. Mages go there to train their and explore their newfound abilities. But the combat zone has been shrinking or something. Paradox leaking in.
Paradox. What's that?
Suppose you don't know.
How could I?
The abyss, it permeates everything in this world, Yuko. It's everywhere. When you use magic in a obvious or extreme way, it can lash out at you.
Good to know.
And that's what we call paradox.
Good to know. I won't do that. All right. Anything else I should know?
Nope. Right out of tips.
Of course. Well, all right then, Miss.
She gives you a nod.
All right, and I go
For
to
what it's worth, Yuko, I'm glad you're okay.
Thanks. And I go to say her name, Miss. Does she like cut me off?
You see her like tense up, her eyes flare a bit.
Is something wrong?
Let's keep our names to ourselves from now on. You should probably think of a new one.
A new name. Why? You know, now that I think about it, Margaret said the
It can be
same
tracked
thing.
using the old.
What, you mean like you tracked me with that pistol?
Yeah,
Great.
exactly like that.
Fantastic. Good to know that, you know, the people I want to stay away from the most can just track me down at any time.
No, not your parents, actually.
Why is that?
We severed your sympathetic connection to them when we took you.
Severed my connection to them. What does that even mean?
Let me ask you this. How did you feel about your parents? You mentioned you were doing things for them, trying to atone for something.
Yeah. That's right. Kind of felt like a fucking failure after losing my scholarship. You know?
That rift that started suddenly in your life, it's because the connection was cut.
I see.
I'm sorry for any pain that may have brought upon you, but it was the only way to make sure they couldn't find you. And it was a good way of making sure you wouldn't go back to them.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna need a bit to mull all of this over. So, what should I call you now?
Archer.
Archer. Okay. Well, I don't have a name currently, so I'll get back to you when I think of one.
Scald kind of nudges you.
I turned, like, you see me, like, turn to, like, face something behind me, seemingly. And I like, whisper something. And what I'm saying is, what is it?
Scald.
Actually, I do have a name. You can call me Scald.
Oh? Scald.
Yeah.
Very well, Scald. Until we meet again.
Until then. And I go over to the car that we fucking stole. And
They get back in theirs and drive off.
Alright.
Oh, unless there was something you were going to try and do.
Nope. I'm not gonna do anything. I just watch them as they drive off, and I look to Adonis and I say, "You got that address?" Kind of slip
Yeah,
to
I
a
got it.
halt.
Yeah, I've been repeating it to myself while you were talking.
Yeah, sorry to drag you into all of that.
No, it's okay.
What's the
Uh,
address? Let's go.
it's in Chinatown. Let's go there.
Well, I
It'll
know
be
it.
easier to find our way from then.
Okay, right. I begin to drive.
All right.
That same panic look crawls over me the faster we go inside the car. Gonna grab the oh shit handle and the seatbelt and just
I
holding on
uh,
to it.
I intentionally slowed down a bit. Does that incite my virtue, Micah?
No, no,
Oh, not merciful enough. Okay,
no, it's not.
fair enough. All right, I will drive to Chinatown then. We're going down to Chinatown.
Sounds good. So skipping over to Benji. Um, or to Beth rather.
Present.
You and Beth reach a old abandoned warehouse on like the outer edge of Chinatown.
Me and Prometheus.
Yes.
You said me and Beth, so I was just making sure.
Nah, Ben.
Oh, did I?
Nah,
Fuck.
nah, Ben. You're there. You're there now.
But anyway, so you guys pull into the deserted parking lot. This place is, of course, just as drug-ridden as the place Raven went to. There's needles scattered everywhere, gang signs sprayed on the walls. The warehouse is long since abandoned and has just become kind of like this deserted wreck where junkies come to shoot up.
This is where one of the hollows is supposed to be.
Indeed. Not a pleasant hollow, but we need to at least give it a look around. Watch your feet, don't step on any needles.
Is the magic? What do we call it? The mana? Is that what we call?
Indeed, yes, the mana.
Is I've just been kind of learning as I go on this, but we had come across this tree. I think you probably were told the story, and so it's the only other hollow that I'm aware of, and it had this negative vibe that kind of permeated all the magic, all the mana. Is there something like that here that I should be aware of?
There is nothing like that here that I'm aware of. However, you are correct. Hollows do often draw spirits, ghosts, other such entities. They're drawn to the power, the energies of the place. So be on your guard. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any tactical advice if we run into something and we need to team up?
Well, if we need to run away, we will.
Excellent.
And you are free to hide behind my notes, as I am the experienced mage here.
Oh. Well, I mean, you're not a really large person, so I don't know. It would look a little weird if I was hanging out your back of your robes. You know what I'm saying?
Well, no, but I am adept in the arcana of prime and forces, and if anything does approach us, I will burn it alive.
Can you not burn it alive?
Oh, yes, I the scarring, yes. Well, maybe close your eyes, perhaps.
Oh, well, I can do that.
Excellent. Shall we?
Sure. So, what do we do with spirits exactly if spirits want to screw with us?
Well, He's getting out of the car at this point, talking to you as he walks up to the entrance of the warehouse. Well, spirits can be banished, as can ghosts and most other entities.
And what's the difference between a spirit and a ghost?
You know what animism is? Yes? You've heard of the concept before?
Yes, like physical objects have some kind of essence that is a thinking, existing being. Am I
Well,
getting that at all right?
it's real. It's true. Mostly true, at least. Our
So, like,
world
one
has a spiritual reflection that can be crossed over at loci.
Huh. Interesting. So
Although,
these,
to be honest, uh, shit, I forgot his name. The other guy.
Prometheus, Azorgnus.
Epimetheus.
Yeah, the spirits are more his domain. If you had any questions about the shadow, you'd want to direct them to him.
Yeah, you were mentioning that we may run into spirits trying to get at the mana here, so I didn't know. Since had never really experienced one, I didn't know what the best way of attacking one or avoiding one would be. So I'll watch you for cues.
All entities have what's called a ban and a bane. That we usually like to try and take advantage of. Usually, it takes some amount of research into what this entity is, some trial and error. Although those from the firstest path can usually pick up on what those supernatural weaknesses are, and then we work from there. Every spirit is different, has its own strengths and weaknesses. Some are more willing to cooperate than others. And just because we encounter an entity here does not necessarily mean we have an issue with it.
Okay.
He walks into the warehouse.
I'm walking behind in kind of a Scooby-Doo stealth mode.
It's pitch black inside of the warehouse, but as you walk in, he kind of like raises his hand, and the room just kind of illuminates all on its own. With a kind of flickering dim light, like fire. Although there is no fire.
Well, that's a neat trick. Now, is this real light?
This, my curious friend, is magic. He kind of grins down at you.
I know that there's illusory magic, and I just wonder how you can tell the difference.
Well, sometimes you can't. Oh, wait. You smell that? There is this awful stench coming from somewhere in the warehouse.
Got a dead cat around here or something?
Prometheus starts like walking down the aisle, and he walks around the corner and stops suddenly. Oh dear, how unfortunate. I assume you follow him.
Yeah, in fact, I'll even say, is it a body?
Yes, indeed it is. You come around the corner to see a sleeping bag sprawled out underneath one of the racks, I guess it's called. and there is a man tucked into the sleeping bag with his brains blown all over the ground around him. He very clearly has suffered a gunshot to the side of the head.
And does it look like he's been rotting, a little while?
At least a couple days. His body is just beginning to show signs of decomp.
I will start taking pictures, and I really would like to, look at his hands, get some pictures of those. I mean, I don't know. I don't have any access to police files or anything like that, but I bet my patrons have something, and see if he's got a identification or anything on him. Of course, would be very helpful too if he needs to be put to rest, as it were.
Yeah, you pat him down. As you're patting him down, Prometheus kind of kneels down next to the body, and he takes the sleeve of his jacket and he kind of pulls it up. And you see these like runes squiggled all along the man's arms. And as you stare at these runes, you feel like the tingle of magic run up your spine. And you recognize some of these runes. You saw them etched upon that tower in the realm between.
Are you trying to connect with his ghost?
No. But these are supernal runes. This man may have been a mage. Just troubling.
I mean, I guess it would explain why he picked this particular spot to be. I'm not finding any ID.
No, you find a toothbrush, like a shiv made from like rusted metal. You find about $20 in change and a broken cell phone.
A broken cell phone. That's some cool shit.
Yeah, it's like a really old flip phone.
Does
The
it
screen
have
is cracked.
does it have some sort of chip I can take out of it and maybe examine later?
Yeah, it does. Well, actually, no. Actually, you start fumbling around looking for a chip, and the area where you would expect it to be able to detach, it doesn't detach. It's like completely sealed. The phone doesn't even appear to have like a battery. It's a rather odd design.
Well, that's odd. I suppose this is some kind of magic phone, is it?
Prometheus stares at it for a while. I'm not detecting any magic. I see nothing with my gaze.
Is there anything we can do to make our heads less susceptible to being blown away by this person who really shot this man? Somebody didn't like him being here. I mean, probably because he was a mage. And
Indeed.
I think you and I are mages.
I think you might be right. We should. I was going to recommend harvesting mana from this hollow, but this may not be. We may want to clear out of here. Meet up with the others.
Okay, well, I got pictures of the body. I got his strange phone. Maybe I'll be able to take it apart and figure something out about it.
You're Moros, are you not?
Yes.
Can you perhaps divine something about his death?
Well, they've been trying to teach me that kind of stuff. Let's see what I can do. And I guess I'll do the flare up thing and try to use my particular morose style sight. What is that?
Oh,
The first,
so you're using your. Are you casting a spell, or are you using your mage sight?
um, I guess whatever I've been taught. If I'm supposed to look at it first before I cast a spell, so that I, know what spell to use or something, then
Okay. You're typically encouraged to use your active mage sight like as much as possible, to see as much as possible of the supernal world around you. Um, and as you do this, as you switch on your active mage sight, um, you're able to determine that the man is in fact dead, very dead,
I sense he is dead.
and he has not left any kind of ghost behind. You feel no kind of connection or anchor is nearby that a ghost might hook itself onto.
Okay.
The magic in the air is almost overwhelming. It's like at first it was just like a nagging at the back of your mind, but when you open your gaze to it, it becomes this like this rock, this just deep, heavy emptiness in the soul of your being.
Emptiness. Wow, I think somebody's turned this magic into a kind of negative energy that I was talking about that I saw in that tree. Just feels like emptiness or void.
Indeed, Prometheus nods. What you're feeling is the hollow itself. This hollow has a resonance of emptiness, of abandonment.
Oh,
Seems to have at being a hollow, it has soaked up its environment, being one of despair and emptiness. Unfortunately,
hmm.
the mana from this hollow should still be good for us to take, though, if we wanted to push things and linger in this area.
Well, maybe we should come back in force.
Then that is what we shall do. Ovulation can take some time, after all.
Say that again.
Ovulation, it's a form of meditation that allows us to draw mana from a hollow.
Ovulation.
That's how it is in the books.
That's
God damn it.
literally how it is. Like, literally. Besides, man, isn't that ovulation, not ovulation? Get your minds out of the gutter.
Yes, ovulation. God damn it, Taylor. Anyway,
Yeah, so I guess we'll make a tactical retreat.
make a wits composure roll as you leave the building.
Sweet. I happen to have wits and composure. Those are stats that I do have.
Cool. It's good when you have the stats that you need.
Just never ask me to roll a strength brawl roll, please. Don't do it.
All right, you said wits resolve?
No, wits composure.
Oh, wits composure. I don't suppose there's any bonuses that I get for any of my merits or specializations or anything.
Actually, um, it's rather dark out, so make a -2.
Rip.
um, so that would be a no on the on the bonus specialty.
Do you have anything that would allow you to see better in the dark at like range?
Let's see. Nope.
The light that Prometheus was providing stayed behind in the warehouse. So
And do we need an 8 or 9 or a 7, 8, and 9?
8 or 9 or 10.
Oh, I got 0 successes.
All right. You guys get to your car and get into it without any problems whatsoever. And you drive out of there and you head back to the apartments. On the way back, Prometheus makes a quick phone call to God damn it, Epimetheus.
Epimetheus. There you go.
Epimetheus, yes. And
Epinephrine. Yeah, okay.
God damn it, Benji. To meet him back at the apartment because they had found a body, and he felt it best to reconvene. So yeah, after about 15 minutes, 20 minutes of driving, you get back to the apartments, and not too much longer, not too much afterwards, Raven and Epimetheus show up as well.
Did you hear that we found a body?
Indeed, we did. Executed. But the most concerning thing was the fact that he bore supernal runes upon him. He may have been a mage or a sleepwalker in the employ of a mage.
I mean, I suppose it's possible that he was supposed to be some kind of lookout. But if he was, he didn't do a very good job of looking out for himself.
As far as I know, no one in our organization has gone missing of late. No one in the Boston area, anyway. I don't know many mages that make their domain in the combat zone. It's one thing to come here and train, to practice one's craft, but to actually live here, quite risky.
I guess so. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Why we should beat feet, because there's somebody shooting magical adepts in their sleep. They're probably, at least a single asshole, if not a couple of assholes. I didn't think we wanted to be overrun with assholes.
Well, you understand that we can't stop our investigation, correct?
Yes, I just want to make sure we're in force. If there's somebody who thinks that's their property or territory or whatever, I don't want them to. I don't wish to repeat the mistake of our dearly departed colleague.
Colleague. This is Epimetheus. Is likely an apostate. He was out for himself. He died by himself.
First, we're talking about ovulation. Now we're talking about prostates. What's going on here?
Prometheus clarifies. Someone who is not in any of the orders. They are a solitary magic user. At this point, Yuko and Adonis pull up outside the apartment.
What you guys see, though, it's just like this random vehicle, seemingly just pulling up to the fucking apartment. By the way, Micah, I sent you a message.
Okay. One sec.
Okay.
I am electing not to answer that right now.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay, anyways. I see my friends ahead. And
They are inside.
Oh, they're inside. Oh.
Yes. You don't see them. You've pulled up to the apartment building.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, this is the place, I think. I say to Adonis.
Yeah. Apartment should be right over there, if I remember correctly. If not, we're probably gonna get shot. But you can trust me.
It's not my time yet, I say as I get out of the car.
I'm gonna follow.
I go up the stairs, leading the way, blazing the trail, and I approach the door, and I knock 3 times.
Epimetheus bolts up. Who could that be? He reaches into his robes and draws like a revolver.
Do I hear this? Like, do I hear him yell? Like, who could that be?
Yeah, you hear like some muffled kind of like.
Oh, I'm like, I guess they aren't expecting us.
Yeah.
Just don't make any, sudden moves, alright?
I'm gonna move stealthily towards the side of the door, so if somebody bursts in, I'll be able to, I don't know, thwack them or something.
The door does have one of those handy little looky holes.
Real quick,
Yeah.
could I attempt another spell?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. I want to use a mind spell to tell how many people are in the building.
So actually, what you could do is use your mage sight, your active mage sight, under the mind arcanum to detect how many thinking minds are inside the apartment.
Alright, that's what I'll do then.
There are baby. There are 4 minds inside the building. You're able to like pick up on like the psychic kind of like static of their thoughts.
I'm picturing this more like waves, sort of like just emanating in blackness almost.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say that would be kind of accurate?
Yeah, that works.
And I shake my head after doing this.
And one of them is like right on the other side of the door.
I think there's like 4 people in there. Hello? Is anyone in there?
I'll look to my colleagues to see what they're how they're responding.
I'm gonna jimmy the door handle, see if they locked it.
Yeah, it is definitely locked. Yeah, so they start like whoever's on the other side of the door starts like turning the handle.
I see him turn the handle and I sort of like push his hand off. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? This is the middle of a ghetto. You trying to get us killed?
Epimetheus, like on the other side of the door, he's like watching over like Beth's shoulder. He's all like, "What the fuck? They're trying to get in."
Okay, I know what I'm gonna do here. Archer sent us. If that means anything to you, I say through the door.
Prometheus looks at Epimetheus and like, "Who the fuck is Archer?" but Beth and Raven, you recognize the name.
All right, I will open up the door. Oh, why didn't you say so?
Epimetheus suddenly like bristles forth. He like steps between Beth and Yuko. He has a revolver in his hands. Who are you? Who sent you?
I'm gonna step in between Yunko and him. I'm just like, easy. We were told to come here. My hands are gonna be up in the air.
We're not expecting anyone else.
I'm gonna try and using my good looks to try and ease the situation.
Okay. Make a. Okay, what exactly are you trying to do here?
I'm just gonna just calm yourself down. It's fine. We were sent by someone else. Her name was Archer. It's
Well, that's not really her name, but for all intents and purposes, it is. I
I'm
guess.
Adonis. This is Yuko. Or, fuck.
Yeah, good job there. Good
You can
job.
slap me later. Sorry.
How do Beth and Raven react to the return of their friend?
Keep in mind you have not seen her in like 3 months.
Yeah, I'm just, I guess my mouth's open as I take that in.
And you notice, like, she looks fucked up. Like, I'll go ahead and I'll describe her appearance for you real quick. For one, like, her head is, like, completely fucking shaved. Right? You notice under her eyes, she has, like, these, like, just really, like, black eyes. Like, she hasn't, like, slept in for, like, a long fucking time, pretty much, or hasn't been getting good sleep. And you notice that her right hand is also, like, fucking broke. Like, it's in, like, a makeshift sort of, cast. Splint, yeah.
You catch a glimpse of it, and it's like all purple and swollen.
I will give her a hug and say I was not expecting to see you today.
Well, life's full of surprises, I say. And you notice...
Prometheus.
Go ahead, my bad.
Oh, go on.
I was gonna say,
Go
you
on.
notice...
No, I wanna hear it.
You notice immediately, Beth, like, this is not, like, the usual Yuko. Like, there's something very different in her demeanor.
Prometheus steps forward. Well, if you're going to come in, come in. Beth, how do you know these people? Quickly now, come in. Don't linger in the doorway. Gonna get shot.
I step in.
Well, this lady here, I'm gonna call her Buckles from now on. Is an old good roommate of mine, and
you can call me Scald.
no, I think Buckles is really the best name, don't you?
No, I don't really find it all that humorous, actually. I've already been told about the whole shadow name deal and everything, so that's what I chose.
I'm just so confused. I mean, what are the odds that the three of us are all, you know,
It's almost like it's
sleepers
fated.
or whatever?
It's almost like it's fated, huh? Like it's meant to happen.
I'm not sure if I believe in the three thing.
Who was talking about ginger ale so viciously in the background?
God damn it.
We do not have advertisement for this. We better block it out.
Fuck.
Who is that? Whose microphone is that?
I don't know.
That's mine.
Oof.
Somebody is really going on and on about some ginger ale. Anyways, regardless of that, so it's
So what the hell happened to you?
a lot of things happened to me.
Boy, we need to get you to our healer, I think.
Well, to your question, a lot of things happened, Beth. A lot of things happened. I kind of...
But you know who you are now.
Yeah, I'm aware of who I am. Who I really am. You know, not that delusion that I was trapped in.
Okay. Is it this whole awakening thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's only been a couple of months really since I learned about this shit, and I gotta say, I don't. Mage is, we might know a few more things, but there's still so much shit we don't know.
I met
But
with I met with our associate Archer. We had some words exchanged, and I was told that you were here, and I should meet you here.
well, I'm glad to see you.
Are you? Where were you guys for the past 3 months, huh? You couldn't come and pay an old friend a visit in the asylum? Would have been nice.
Look, I can't control how much time passes because the game master wants time to be forwarded. I don't.
Oof.
I actually had it on my list of aspirations to visit Yuko, so.
At least you had me in your thoughts. Speaking of thoughts, can I
Wait, so I had myself muted. I was actually trying to talk. Shit. See, I'm doing it now. What I'm gonna say is, you guys did actually try and get access to the hospital at some point, and like Yuko's name was just like straight up like not anywhere in the database. She kind of had just disappeared.
Whoa.
So they were basically saying she was not there.
Yeah, the staff at the hospital,
Okay.
and of course your comrades in the Griffins were always just like, oh yeah, she's fine, she's good, she's in caring hands. So
So we tell Yuko that we were told that you weren't at the hospital anymore.
Well, that was a fucking lie. Oh, by the way, that TV is like really loud in the background, whoever's that is.
right, sorry.
Okay. Anyways, I look to Raven. I say, yeah, that was a lie. I was there the whole time. Not that I particularly wanted to be there, but there I was.
Yeah, I gotta say, I did not fully realize what Archer had in mind when we started. Um, but I don't know. Once you got there and she got you, you know, what admitted and whatever, I just thought, well, she's been not being remembering who she is, and she's been shooting people, and she probably has a lot of trauma and shit. So I assumed your friend was taking you to a place that would in fact be friendly to you.
Yeah, my friend. Me and her are acquaintances now. And that's about it.
I see. Well, she's a interesting mentor type person.
Well, I hope she doesn't
So
fucking leave you in the dust like she left me.
yeah,
Archer is
I
kind
gotta
of
say I really don't like it when friends, leave you unprotected.
Oh, fuck. Whoops.
Nice to meet you both.
Fuck me.
Okay.
welcome back.
We really don't have time for that right now.
So, drama and stuff aside, what's going on exactly? Why are we in this place of all places?
Well, see, there's things called hollows that like seep magic from the magical dimensions and such, and they change around a little bit, and so I'm kind of investigating, trying to see if the hollow has been affected by some of the local changes in the magic and such.
What? What the hell does any of that mean?
I don't know yet. I'm just trying to tell you what I've been told.
Oh, okay. Can anybody explain that in
Use
in layman's terms?
use your sight beyond sight, and you will sense that this place is like just a vessel to pick up rainwater of magic.
Okay. I guess I'll try to do that.
At this point, Prometheus steps forward and starts to explain hollows a lot more elegantly than that. He basically explains that they're places where mana from the supernal realms above seeps down into the world and it collects there, and it can enhance and fuel the spells that mages cast.
Oh, you mean like that place with those thorns, right? That's what you're talking about?
I do not know what place you speak of, but yes, I suppose.
Yeah. Okay. And it comes down from there and it goes here. Okay. I can see the rainwater analogy now. So, why are we here though? Like, I know this stuff now, but why are we here now?
Prometheus and Epimetheus kind of exchange a look.
Something the matter?
We're just not used to sharing details of our mission with people who just strode up to our doorstep. What is your purpose here?
Wish I fucking knew that myself. You know, I'm gonna share a little bit of information with you about me. Yeah, I just got out of a fucking mental asylum. I almost died. I woke up, as you say, I guess. My friend, Archer, kind of cued me in on a little bit about what is going on here. And she told me basically that I was shit out of luck, that she didn't have anywhere for me to go, and that I should come here. And I say this like all matter-of-factly, by the way.
Well, your friend seems pleasant.
Yeah.
I am sorry you've had such a rough week.
Yeah. So, I'm at your disposal, I guess, for whatever I can help you with.
He turns to Beth. Do you vouch for her?
Would handle the forces and energies required.
I have this pause.
Well, the truth is,
I'm
we just never
here.
gave it to you because it's a useful material.
He notices
second.
this
Can
like
I,
immediately and
Can
begins
I, hey, real quick.
Mhm.
I'm just thinking here, do I want to do this? Can I want to attempt another spell, perhaps. Noticing Beth's hesitation, could I try to compel her to vouch for me with mind magic? Would that be possible? Are you guys there? Oh.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm muted again. That's an awesome idea, actually. So let me... Beth is going to get a chance to resist this, of course.
Okay. Also, I had a question about my one of my merits.
Mm-hmm.
Destiny. How exactly does that work?
If it's your destiny to well, your destiny is usually something fatal. It's usually something that's going to go really poorly for your character. And when you're going along with what your destiny wants, essentially walking towards your death, you gain a +2 because you have 2 destiny. And if you're trying to avoid your destiny, you take a -2.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
I will alert you when that comes into effect.
Okay. I got you, because this has like a really long effect, and I have like no idea what a lot of this shit means. But okay. Yeah, so what do I need to do?
Okay.
I like this idea too, by the way. I don't know if Beth would, but as a player, I think it's pretty cool.
Hey, I'm sorry to ask so many questions. How much willpower have I used during this session?
1, I believe.
Just 1? Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Got it. So I still have 1 more. Okay.
Just 1 second. Flipping through the book.
Gotcha.
While I'm looking this information up, actually, I have a question. Well, for everyone actually, but Yuko, as you're looking at Beth and Raven, do they seem different to you? Has their appearance changed in any way? This is kind of something for the group to answer.
I mean, it is cold, so I've probably got most of my limbs and everything covered up. But certainly, I have less damage to my face. But maybe that's 3 months of healing. Maybe she wouldn't.
Unfortunately, the scars are still quite visible. But yes, it has healed significantly. And of course, you can walk again. I don't know if Yuko was conscious when that happened.
I would imagine she would recall after she like regained her memories.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. She remembers that Beth visited her while she was in the building with the rest of them. So what are we doing exactly? What's going on?
I'm trying to figure out what Beth needs to roll to withstand the magic.
Would it be like resolve and something else?
They have special rules for withstanding spells, so...
Oh shit, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
You won't vouch for me.
You will vouch for me. I'm about to Jedi mind trick you?
Yeah.
Or try. Try.
So this is going to be a really fucking hard spell for Yuko to cast.
Well, shit. That sucks.
So essentially... Beth, what's your composure?
My composure is 2.
So that means, and normally I wouldn't tell you this, I want to make this really clear, but since this is the first time these rules are coming into effect, I'm going to kind of lay everything out on the table. But essentially, because your composure is 2, and depending on the kind of spell that's affecting you, it might be a different attribute next time. But because your composure is 2, that means your withstand rating is 2. So that means that the potency of Yuko's spell is going to be reduced by 2.
Well, shit.
And it starts out as 1. So you're either going to have to like let the spell fizzle, or you're going to have to take die penalties to increase the potency of the spell above 2.
That would be me reaching, right?
You would actually be taking die penalties
Oh,
to increase the spell factor.
okay.
And of course, you would also need to reach to cast this instantly and at distance.
So what exactly am I looking at here? Okay, well, like, what is my penalty I'm looking at to make this
Well,
work?
Oh, honestly, though, I mean, I just hugged you. I'm probably right next to you.
Yeah,
You should
yeah,
just have
we're
to-
like hugging pretty much, right?
That's true. I mean, I assumed you guys had broken by the time you had walked into the living room, right? But
No, we're like sitting there, you know? No, actually, I got the perfect way. We can say we separated.
Sitting on Beth's
We can
lap.
say no. I got this. I got this. You know, we can say we separated. I reach out to touch Beth and like Beth. You can trust me. Come on.
okay. In that case, you only have to spend 1 reach to cast instantly, which you can do.
Okay.
And you're going to have to take a -4 penalty to increase your potency to 3.
Okay. -4. 1 second. My my gnosis is 1. My arcana is 1. So that's 2.
Mhm.
If I spend my last point of willpower, that brings me up to 5. -4 would be 1 die. Right? Am I doing my math here right?
You are.
Okay. I don't like the idea of rolling a fate die and getting a 1 here. So,
Well, it's not a fate die until it gets pushed below 0.
yeah. Okay.
And this is a 1.
Alright, I'm gonna roll my 1 die. And, we're gonna see how this... How do y'all... Okay. Do I want to ask this question? I kind of want to ask this question because it's going to come up later anyway. How do yantras work?
So yantras are kind of... They're magical shorthand, essentially. Like, everything in the supernal world is symbolism, essentially. Like, symbolism and concepts given flesh.
Okay.
And yantras are essentially like symbolism of the symbolism, I guess. They can be environmental, they can be a specific action that your character is taking.
Okay, I got a question right there. Could my touching her shoulder act as a yantra?
What is the symbology that you are relying on?
Well, the symbolism is that often, you know, someone who touches your shoulder is someone that you could trust. Does that make sense?
It does.
Touch your shoulder all the time.
I'm gonna say no, though. It needs to be like... So after the session, I'm gonna print out like a list of like the different like things that can be a yantra.
Okay. In that case, I'll just do the 1 die.
Well, wait. You could definitely use if you wanted to incorporate your scalpel into this somehow.
Yeah, I'm gonna like discreetly just hold up to Beth's neck. You can trust me. No, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, short of relying on concentration to extend the duration of your casting, I don't think there's anything you could do like right this very moment.
Okay, I'm just gonna roll my die and take my chances. I got 1 success.
Okay. In that moment, Beth, you recall all the really good times you had together. Because there were good times, weren't there?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And without kind of meaning to, you kind of nod and say, "Yeah." And Prometheus nods. All right then. Welcome aboard, Scald.
Thank you.
And I'm
What should I call you?
Prometheus.
Prometheus. Okay. Nice name. I like it.
Thank you.
How come Prometheus?
Well, that's a long story.
Kind of busy.
And I haven't introduced myself yet to you. He looks over at Adonis.
Yeah.
He's my friend Adonis. He helped me break out of the asylum.
Well, it's nice to meet you, sir.
You can call me Adonis. That's yeah.
Indeed, I will. He shakes your hand.
Shake his hand. Nice to meet you, Prometheus. And the others are Beth. What are your shadow names so we can avoid using everything else?
Well, I am Prometheus, as mentioned. This is my comrade, Epimetheus.
Epimetheus? Okay.
Well, that's it.
I'm still figuring things out. I'm down to 3. Maybe you can help me decide which one.
What should I call you for the time? Apparently, we're not supposed to share our actual names with one another. So,
If it can be helped, yes.
do you have should I just call you B? Would that be all right?
Say that again. B.
Like the letter B.
Oh.
Should I just call you B? Hey B, what's up?
I like it.
All right, and Raven. You.
It's quite all right. I believe both me and Epimetheus have already been given her name.
Oh, well in that case, I'm just gonna call you guys by your names. Beth and Raven. All right, got it.
But it's still good practice.
All right, you'll be R.
I'm gonna go with Trigger.
Trigger. Like, is that your shadow name?
Mm-hmm.
Trigger.
I like it.
Yep.
That doesn't sound like you at all, but all right.
How does Raven look different to Yuko?
Yeah, how do you look different, Raven?
Well, I mean, last time you saw me, I was almost dead, torn up by wolves. So
She looks much improved since then.
I don't know how much of that you remember, I guess. But
She remembers.
I would
She's
say,
just not talking about it right now.
I would say that you would be surprised she's alive, honestly. If you remembered that, but I don't know.
In fact, how is Raven taking Yuko's return?
I think she is partially, is happy to see Yuko, and that, happy that Yuko seems to be a little more sane than she was last time she saw her, but she's careful about.
A bit skeptical.
Yeah, she's a bit skeptical, and she's not really. She's a bit skeptical about Yuko's sanity, for one, because she's not sure, if that's really back or whatever. And also I think that she never did really actually trust Miss Riley as much as the other two did, and so that information, although a small amount, was, basically that Yuko said about Miss Riley kind of turning on her or whatever. Like, she's pretty curious about that whole thing as well, and kind of, you know, I don't know, giving her pause as far as like who to trust and what's going on. So
And Adonis is just like, I'm here.
Just looking over them, just not gonna question where their scars or anything came from, because he has scars of his own.
We look like the most motley group of fucking people right now. Like, really. So, what? Okay. So,
I'm looking pretty good. I don't know about you guys.
Adonis is now wearing the blue jeans and a camo t-shirt, but he still has these semi-dirty bandages wrapped all the way up both of his arms, and has some orangish red facial hair growing in like a mat of rusty red brown hair, and he's just standing there just watching over.
So now that we're working together, what are we doing?
Well, we found a dead body.
Oh.
And it looked like somebody just shot this person in the side of the head. They have some runes on them, which seems to indicate they, were connected somehow with, with awakened folks. If he wasn't one as well. And so we're gonna go back and forth since it's also a hollow, and hopefully by being, having overwhelming force, we won't get shot in the head like this other person.
All right. Well, speaking of shooting people in the head, you have any bullets? I have, and I raise my shirt up and I bring out my judge. This, but it is it's unloaded. I don't have any bullets for it.
Prometheus immediately tenses when you pull it out.
I look at him and I say, "Sorry, it's unloaded though." I show him the chamber. There's nothing in it. Sorry.
You're gonna put the gun in?
No, I'm not pointing the gun at him. I'm like, I have it facing away from him, and I have the chamber.
Okay. So you have the bolt pulled back, as in you're ready to reload it right now. Okay.
Yeah.
I believe the caliber of your weapon is different than the calibers of the other weapons here.
Yeah, it takes shotgun shells. You guys got any shotgun shells?
Unfortunately, no.
Fuck.
I gave at the office.
Do any of y'all have any extra weapons, perchance? If not, that's fine.
Well, Epimetheus has his blasted pistol. I mostly rely upon my magic. He kind of looks over at Trigger and Beth.
I did bring a bat in the back in the car. I was planning on bringing it in with me now that I know there's some danger going on. But if you want it, you can have it.
You have a what in the back of your car?
A bat?
A bat.
A baseball bat?
Huh.
I'll take the baseball bat.
You can have the baseball bat. It's fine.
I keep asking if it can be used as a wand or a staff, and they keep giving me this weird look. Like apparently wizards don't do that anymore.
Well, I'm not completely out of luck. I mean, I put away the pistol and I take out my scalpel. I got this.
I suppose we do want to do a surgical strike.
Oh, absolutely. They'll never see it coming. And as she says that, right, she goes from humorous to just downtrodden instantly, and she just says, "Yeah, they'll never see it coming."
Prometheus kind of notices this and then quickly changes the subject. Well, it's late. What are we looking at? He checks his watch. It's almost 5 a.m. I believe we should perhaps get some sleep and head out in the morning. Hopefully our numbers that have now tripled in size will dissuade any potential enemies we might meet.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I'm afraid we don't have enough beds for all 4 of you, but the couch and the armchair are available.
I'll sleep in the car, and I go back out.
I would advise against that. Epimetheus, oh, just let her go. She knows what she's doing. Very well.
I'll take the couch. Don't feel like being cramped inside one of those death machines any longer. How safe is this room looking?
There's a big front window and a door. The curtains are on the window are closed, however.
Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna lock all of the doors to the car, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And Trigger, how are you sleeping? Where are you sleeping?
They said
Are
they
you
had
sleeping?
some beds or no?
They do have yeah, they do have 2 spare beds for you and Beth
Okay.
in separate rooms, small rooms, cramped, but
I'll just go in there, I guess.
all right. And Beth,
You know, I just think that maybe using the buddy system might be a good idea. How big are these beds?
they're twins.
Oh. Well, I don't know how big of people we are.
Hey, you could always just like pile a bunch of like pillows on like the floor and sleep in.
Cool. I'll do that. You take the bed, and I'll take the extra bonus pillows. And if somebody messes with us, one of us will wake up and be able to kick their ass.
Okay.
And unless there is anything else you would like to do before the night or the morning ends, I think we'll bring this session to an end.
I'm gonna use my trained observer skill and look for a lighter anywhere in the room.
Yeah, what's composure?
3.
3 successes.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, so
yeah.
add up your wits and your composure, and then roll that many d10s.
Also, what exactly
And you're looking for successes on 8, 9s, and 10s.
What does the trained observer merit actually do, by the way?
It gives you a bonus to wits composure rolls.
Okay, gotcha.
I got 5 successes.
Oof.
Holy crap.
Well, shit, that's an exceptional success. So,
You find 16 lighters.
yeah, you definitely find a lighter, discarded by Epimetheus on the table. And I'm going to say you also noticed something the next morning, but we'll save that for next week.
Okay. I'm gonna pocket the lighter, and yeah, there we go.
Excellent.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.